Very good afternoon to everyone here. Thank you for being with us today in Bicara Santai Bersama Dekan, light conversation, simple talk with our Dean of School of Health Sciences, Professor Rosli Ishak. So, how are you, Prof? Prof, are you there?
Yeah, fine. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
willing to spend your time
Yeah,
with us. In this first 1.5 plus session, inshallah.
yeah,
So
inshallah.
for your information, Prof,
Yeah.
most of our postgrad friends today are online from their own stations,
Okay.
as we have
Good.
faced an experience of COVID issue last week. So we cannot
Yeah, I
gather
know.
in a postgrad room at the
Yeah,
moment,
yeah,
as the room has been shutting down.
yeah,
However, I believe that that does not definitely not affect our precious time with you, our beloved Dean, for this afternoon. And for you guys, for those who have question to Prof, you may drop your question in chat box or so that I can read later on for you for Prof to answer, or you may communicate directly with Prof later on at the end of in the session of Q&A session at later on. So for the introduction for our uh, session today, here I would like to share a sweet biography of our dean, Professor Rosli Ishak. So let's have a listen. On the 10th May, 50 years ago, Professor Rosli Ishak has come into this world as the eldest among 11 children of a simple family in Kuala Nerang, Kedah. His strict father, a hardworking monger, and his mother, gracefully housewife, have sent him to an early education in a primary school of Sekolah Kebangsaan Kuala Nerang and the secondary school of Sekolah Menengah Datuk Syed Ahmad Kuala Nerang, Kedah. Due to his early tough life, Prof has determined to really focus on his study, therefore he can help his parents and family to get better life in the future. His tertiary education was started in 1987 after he received an offer to further his studies in matriculation science of University Putra Malaysia, which that time was known as University Pertanian Malaysia, and proceeded with the bachelor's degree in food science, graduated in 1993 at the same university. 4 years later, Prof holds a Master of Science in Food Biochemistry with flying colors and a PhD in Food Science in the year of 2004 from the University Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM. He has got married with a lucky, beautiful wife and a wonderful teacher, Puan Zamira binti Yusuf. Though he has known as a shy guy, the couple has been blessed with 3 adorable pairs of kids. He used to be a research assistant back then in 1993 to 1997 at the Faculty of Food Science and Biotechnology, UPM. Then, he becoming a lecturer for almost 30 years in many higher educational institutions such as the Institute Indira Kayangan Perlis, College Technology Timur Selangor, and our University Science Malaysia, before being promoted as our current Dean in School of Health Sciences. Prof maintained as an active research agenda, especially in food science and nutrition, food quality and analysis, and functional food product development. He has published for more than 100 articles starting from his career till now in many high-impact journals, such as International Advances in Natural and Applied Sciences, British Food Journal, Food Research Journal, Food Chemistry, Food Research, and so forth. In addition, also has 10 books or a chapter in books today. Other than that, Prof. Rosli also an author in presentations and proceedings in nearly 100 conferences, regardless of local and international. He also served on the editorial board of Malaysian Qualification Agency MQA in the Scopus journals as in the Scopus journals, such as the Journal of Engineering and Science Research, Journal of Agricultural Sciences, and International Journal of Nutritional Sciences. Honorary editorial board member of International Food Research Journal, and a professional member of Malaysian Institute of Food Technology Institute, and many more. Prof. also a receiver to a huge number of grants, either from university, national, international, or industrial players, and also an award recipient from more than 50 awards for his successful achievement in his career. Till to date, he and his team have owned 10 intellectual properties, IP, and a commercialization. He has been given a trust and honor as an invited lecturer, speaker, keynote or plenary speaker, journal reviewer, thesis examiner, external assessor, and assessor. Until today, he has graduated either as main supervisor or co-supervisor of 14 master students and 6 PhD students. And now, he is currently supervising a postdoc and 7 PhD students ongoing, including myself. So that's a little bit of about our prof, a summary of 40 pages of his resume. Prof, I'm so surprised with your. It's not easy. It's not a it's not an easy task to summarize your resume, frankly. So without any further ado, Prof, let us move to our first question for today. Prof, the first question is why? Why do you choose this path to pursue your master, to pursue your PhD study, rather than finishing your bachelor degree and then look for other job, for other stable job? So the platform is yours, Prof.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Miss Ras, and also all the students. I feel very honored to be, in this session because this is the first time to meet you guys. Actually, I wish to join your event bowling because I love to, to do to practice sport and so on. But unfortunately, maybe we can, conduct another session with postgraduate, and also we can, include also staff and also the lecturers to be involved together. I think this kind of, activity is very important. It's not just do complete master, PhD, and so on. That is not the main agenda if you enter university. Like myself as well, I also similar like you, because I also at your place before this. Then why I pursue master, PhD? Because there are many reasons. During that time, despite of we in the food technology during that in 1990s, 1993, we have opportunity to to work at the industry, in the food industry, such as a big multinational company like Nestle, and we have locally established company like Ramly Burger, Dutch Lady, and many more company which is already established. We have the opportunity to become a food technologist during that time after graduate. Then many of our friends engage with the company, with the manufacturing company, which is produce finished product, which is household kind of product. So, but I choose to, pursue my master and PhD because I want to know, I want to explore further, because we want to know the answer. When we always ask question, we want to know the answer for a certain aspect. For example, I involved with first financial project is related to cocoa, chocolate. I love to eat chocolate. I love to eat actually. So specifically, I love to eat chocolate. And then when I have the opportunity to, to study the flavor, I just focus on the flavor of cocoa. Cocoa bean to produce chocolate, you have to process the cocoa. You have to roast the cocoa first, and then to get the very specific kind of pleasant flavor. Then you know that the pleasant flavor from cocoa can increase your mood, influence your mood, and also can increase, to make you happy. So please, if you guys you feel sad and then you are demotivated and so on, please give a box of chocolate to your friend. That is the message. Then when I study the flavor, and then I get some early what we call data related to the compound associated with flavor, which is pyrazine. There are a lot of what we call multiple compound generated during the roasting. When you combine in the oven, when you put the cocoa bean, roasted cocoa bean in the oven, with the combination of time and temperature, different time, different temperature, 110 with 50 minutes, 110 with 20, 135 with 5, 10, 15, and so on, to get the series of different type of flavor. So from that, I think, so we can design the food. So that's why I would like to become a food designer. That's why when I further study on on my master, then after that I proceed with PhD at PhD level. So I still focus on the exploration to understand, to answer why this happened, why that one happened. So I just get the very what we call limited answer, because we need to explore further. The more you ask, the more you don't know actually. So that is the what we call the exploration is never ending story. So that's why I still want to know that at this level we still need to search the answer. And then when you want to explore the answer, then you get more information which is new for you. That's why the seeking of knowledge is not just on the undergraduate. So you have to pursue at master level and also PhD level. And then after that, you dig further, do specialization, specific training, and so on, to understand more on the specific kind of what we call information in your area of expertise. I think that is the motivation that I get from my undergraduate, because I think during that time, even though my friend, they have successful in their career, but I think I have to explore another kind of what we call information to strengthen my knowledge, because at my undergraduate, I see I don't have sufficient knowledge in related to flavor, for example. So that's why I moved to master, and then I study further about the flavor of cocoa, still on the cocoa bean. And then after that, when I did PhD, and then I think, unfortunately, I don't engage with the supervisor.
Okay.
Cocoa, and also not forgetting the apa ni, bake based item like cookies, cake, and so on. So that's why the answer is, in short, the answer is why, because I want to know further, I want to explore further the goodness of food, and then to understand further what is this the secret behind certain item, certain process in food. So I love to eat food. So please, eat more chocolate. That's my answer. I hope I answer your question, Ras.
Mm. And I think we need to thanks to the chocolate so much a lot because of the chocolate. So we will be able to be with you today as our
Yeah.
dean.
In,
So proud.
in addition to that, I would like to, because this is important to know that actually the functional active compound in chocolate is from polyphenol. Then but the problem is our chocolate is added with high sugar. That is the problem, high sugar. But normally, if you want to take chocolate, please take dark chocolate. Yeah, instead
Dark
of milk
chocolate.
chocolate. Dark chocolate contain more polyphenol in that. Yeah,
I
to make
see.
you happy. Okay.
I see. So proud. Other than
Yeah.
your memory with chocolate, um, I believe that some of us may wonder, how is your life becoming a postgrad student last time? Maybe you can share with us one or two experience or moment in when
Yeah.
you're becoming.
Yeah. During my time also, I have we have to adapt. The the right word is adaptation. When you guys enter to lab, you have to you have to abide for certain rule. Sometimes you cannot enter lab after 5 o'clock. Sometimes you have to rely on certain people. You wait the people say, oh, I want to go outside and then to take my children at school. So I have to wait until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Suddenly say, okay, I'm going to work. I'm going to go home. Maybe your sample can be injected tomorrow. So what is your I mean feelings during that time? Because I have facing this difficulty because when you prepare sample, I prepare sample for determination of certain compound using HPLC. So when you prepare, the sample is very sensitive to light, sensitive to temperature, and also need to be control the environment. Then you need to also make sure that all the sample need to wrap properly, because when I want to study carotene for example, so if you don't control that, when you inject, the compound already destroyed. So sometimes I need to adapt with the situation. Then when this thing happen, then I have to you know make sure that have try to be an alternative, and need to build a good rapport with the technologies, need to have a good rapport with the person in charge to control the so that's why my message is we have to adapt. We have to adapt and need to have some kind of what we call strategy to ensure that they understand us, then they facilitate us. So this kind of we call reputation, and also rapport with the staff in the lab, very important. During my time, I have to prepare the sample in our lab and then need to go to another department. But sometimes they are quite difficult for them, because we have to queue. We have to queue, something like you have to queue if you want to go to PPSP, something like that. To that time also, I have to face the same difficulty. I have to queue to inject, because only one equipment for HPLC in my school during that time, in that department. So I have to process the sample in different department, then need to go to another department to do the injection. But sometimes I cannot do much on the schedule. I have to follow the rule and so on. Then that's why sometimes when you inject, the sample doesn't appear, doesn't appear. So need to go back. What happened to the technique? So sometimes need to try and error to choose a correct system of solvent, for example, for extraction. Sometimes supervisor don't know. My supervisor just ask you to do it. Then I don't know how to do it. Then I have to refer to the journal, email the person, the expert in certain journal, ask their opinion, their tip and so on. So I have to do many kind of independent work to survive. If not, sometimes supervisor doesn't know much about certain technique. So that's why the moral is you have to sometimes need to also refer to other experts, refer to other professor or lecturer. Doesn't matter whether they are lecturer or doesn't matter whether they are scientific officer, but sometimes scientific officer know better than lecturer in terms of certain type of tips to inject the sample. In my experience, I just contact with one of the expert officer in the lab. Even though I have difficulty because of the president, sometimes he don't follow the promise that he want to to entertain me during the injection, but sometimes we have to wait until the officer is there to monitor our lab work. So that's why this situation is quite important for you to understand that you need to do what we call this adaptation, adapt with the situation, adapt with the behavior and also culture of work of the staff. But in our case, if you have this difficulty, if you think that this one doesn't work, please tell your supervisor, number one. If not, you can tell the scientific officer, the senior one, look me, Mr. Look me. If you think that certain people doesn't want to help you, for example, or refuse and so on, so please complain to them because we want to assist you. So this is the role of our officer to support you, because we in the university, without student, the function of lecturer is not relevant anymore. So we are here because of you. So that's why if in the very conducive kind of experience, we have to be a harmonized, need to what we call understand each other, respect each other. That is the most important element, adaptation, and then respectful. So you have to respect your supervisor, and then you have to respect the cleaner even. You have to respect your colleagues. So you have to respect also your scientific officer and so on. So we are human beings. So I also tell the same story to them. I also tell the same message to the scientific officer to ensure that the presence of student is important. That's why you are here. So we have to, understand our role to make sure that we are in the big family. We have to understand the role, and also if you have problem and so on, don't disseminate or viral those information. We don't want to have that kind of a situation happen. Just inform the scientific officer or Encik Lukmi, for example, then tell him about the situation or some kind of facilitation. For example, this morning, one of the students showed me the image of microscope, which is contaminated with fungus. That is the problem. We know the problem already. So what is the solution? So we have to do what we call this kind of maybe the technique, how to ensure that the fungus not going to contaminate after this. So maybe the training, we need the training. So we have to send our officer to a training, and also need to do a SOP. So this SOP, you guys need to follow. That is the the situation. Don't blame anyone, because this is not a good culture. So based on this example, and then when we send the staff to understand how to mitigate, how to handle the equipment, so that there is no contamination. So then you have to practice certain step and also SOP. Then the SOP need to be disseminated, need to be need to be transferred to the student, and then you after that you have to follow. If not, the contamination going to be happen, and then we don't solve the problem. So that's why this situation. That's why I need to have this kind of what we call session to understand, and also to tell you that we are in a very big family. We have to you have to respect each other, and then also try to ensure that the equipment, the system works very functionally. If not, we don't solve the problem, because we still want to point on the faults or the mistake of the others. That's not a good kind of what we call behavior. We still need to improve. For example, the of so maybe then we do action already. So we have we have the we disseminate the message already to the Encik Lumi. Fortunately, Encik Lumi also already aware about the situation. Then we still in the process of handle this. Again, there are a lot of problems on the other aspects. So please still if you have problem and so on, go ahead, tell us. We need to do what we call this kind of remedial, and also to ensure that all the system, all the equipment in a good function well to assist your study. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Prof. It seems like becoming a postgrad student 10 to 20 years ago, the challenge is quite less almost same with what we have facing nowadays as a postgrad student. So so to finish your study, Prof, what is your big determination, your big why? Because doing furthering study, even either master or PhD, is not an easy path. So what is your determination?
Actually, yeah, you are right. Actually, when we when we pursue our study in master and PhD, sometimes seeking knowledge in one aspect to understand further on the certain to get answer on the certain hypothesis that we already set, and then to explore the functionalities of certain compound, to understand certain reaction and so on. That's another knowledge that you want to explore. That's one thing. One thing is about the what we call this kind of career, and we can say that the level of what we call your level. So that one, it will translate to you to be for your career later on. Because if you think that sometimes we just want to have a PhD, sometimes when during that time I also just want to finish, because very very stressful to do research, very stressful. I don't have what we call vision, what I'm going to do. Whether I want to become a researcher or a director in a company, or become a lecturer. Don't have kind of what we call vision, because I know that when I did my study, then I know very difficult to after we follow the technique. Sometimes it doesn't work. The correct answer, and also the data, the good data. So when after I finish, then I think I'm going to I need to upgrade myself. That's my what we call my intention. I want to upgrade my knowledge. I want to ensure that to be a respected person. That is my what we call my ultimate aim. Because to become a graduate, I just similar to other people, just ordinary. Anyone can finish undergraduate. Any person can also finish master, but not all able to finish PhD. Because in PhD journey, there are the element need to be focused is novelty. So I can differentiate for you that if you want to have differentiation between master and PhD. PhD is one step ahead, which is your work is very novel as compared to other you call other person and also other study. So that is the main thing. I want to become a respectful person. I mean, to be respected by our colleagues and also to tell them that look, I also managed to finish my PhD because during that time PhD, not all graduate with colorful, with you know, sometimes they are not finished their study because of the many restrictions. Sometimes during Viva during Viva also some of my colleagues also doesn't get through. In between sarjana and PhD, which is we call sarjana kedoktoran sarjana, which is in between, because not master but not doctorate, but in the between. So, but now different in terms of the what we call the successful rate is quite high, not compared to other during that time, during my time. Because we don't have the specific kind of equipment is not it's not what we call sophisticated. We have to go to other place, go to other university to do the research, because the limitation during that time also we don't have the high tech kind of the technique to do extraction and also to analyze the compound and so on. But determination, one thing that drive or facilitate a booster is my because I'm a normal person like you guys at this stage. When I receive offer letter to do PhD, I say, wow, this PhD is going to be very tiring, very what we call complicated, very difficult to finish, and also need to write in English. You know, it's not that easy because our mother tongue is Malay. And then I think it is very challenging. But inside of my heart, I think I don't have what we call 100% of confidence. The confidence level is only 50-50 during that time. So I tell myself, boleh ke tak ni? I can do or not? So I still not settle in my heart. And then I asked my wife during that time. I married to my wife is a teacher in 1997, 1997. And then because I don't know after master, I don't know what I'm going to do, because if I want to become a lecturer, I have to complete my PhD. So during that time, I think, oh, PhD difficult lah, susah lah. So I think what kind of career I want to embark in, whether to become a researcher in CIRIM or PORIM or maybe IRMADI or Research Institute. That is another platform that I can embark on. But I think in my my small heart say that, come, you have to do something else which is not at this level, So that's why, but I'm not confident enough. Then I ask my wife, can I do this kind of study PhD level? My wife give me support, and then just do it. She said just do it. But still I don't have a confidence. Then I will go. Let's go to balik kampung lah. My wife asked me to balik kampung. Then I asked my mother. That is the turning point.
So, Prof, are you okay?
Yeah. My mother motivate me a lot.
You're doing so well, Prof. Don't worry. Your mom will definitely really proud of you.
Yeah, very sure.
And we also
So
proud
that is
to
the,
have
yeah.
you as our dean.
Yeah. So please, there is the moral is don't. Your parent is very important for you to motivate you to be a successful person. That is my message lah for you guys. Okay, I hope I answer you, Ras, because I think the most important thing in our life is sometimes we don't have what we call we don't confident enough to do certain thing, you know, sometimes. We see that we don't have discouragement to complete certain what we call right up. Sometimes for us,
Prof? So it seems like maybe our dean has some connection problem. So we shall wait for Prof for another few questions. Oh yeah, Prof. Prof has come back. Prof, anything to add before we proceed to another question? Prof? Can you hear me? Prof, are you there? I think Prof is saying something, but he did not unmute. Did not unmute his audio. Prof, did not hear you. Prof, cannot hear you. Cannot hear you.
hello, hello.
Okay, Prof.
Okay, I just reconnect to my because the connection on my desktop is a problem, so I just reconnect from my Mac. Can you hear my voice?
Should be fine.
Okay,
Because
all right,
from Mac.
all right, thanks. So we continue. I think to summarize is for your question just now. Please, we have to rely on our family. Don't line your family. Your family will become your and what we call a booster for me. Yeah, and also you have to ensure that your colleagues become your good friend, and also to motivate you to finish your study with flying colors. Yeah. Okay, Aras, is there any other more question to be discussed?
Definitely, Prof.
Yeah.
I think next question is also quite important. As we all know that supervisor playing really a big role in graduating students, but somehow sometimes students couldn't find the chemistry with his or her supervisor, and this make the situation more difficult. So key points on how to tackle supervisor, how to get along with the supervisor.
This is a very good question. Uh, because I also feel the same, the same, what we call, difficulty during my study student days. Because my first supervisor, my main one, very good in English. My second one, very poor in English but very good in Malay. So sometimes they have the different views, Then I feel sometimes confused which one I should like to follow. So this is what quite tricky. But uh, you have to be very kind to both. That's why we have in university, especially in USM, we have this what we call supervisory team. So you have your main supervisor and also assisted by co-supervisor. Sometimes you have one, two, or perhaps sometimes you have three supervisors. So the tip is, I don't have a specific tip, but you need to understand your supervisor, and then you have to know what's their preference. For example, some lecturer supervisors, for example, they just want to have a data from you, and then they just want to you to publish. They just want you to write a paper for their KPI. Then some of them doesn't care about you and also your paper and so on, but you have to understand them, and then need to what we call try to, if you sometimes you don't agree with certain aspect of their what we call their intention, but sometimes you try your best to, number one, to understand their style, and also need to ask your supervisor which is you think that you can get along. For example, if you have three supervisors, and then from these three, maybe you have one that you can trust most as compared to other two. So maybe you can disseminate your idea or your message to be conveyed to the main one, for example. So for in my case, I have three supervisors. I don't agree with certain aspect of, or opinion from my main one. So, but I very close to another my main one. So I persuade my main my co-supervisor, ask them whether that supervisor can persuade the main one to agree with what we have planned. So there are many kind of strategy. It depends on your strategy, but try to understand them. Then again, if you have a few supervisor, please use which one that you think you are quite close. When you close to one of the supervisor, then you can relay your message. You can persuade the close one, which you very close to that supervisor, with to convey the message and so on with your main supervisor. For example, you want to, we know certain, I also student, when student, what is the empathy of student? Student, normally we want to save budget, isn't it? We don't want to, to delay. Because if we delay certain, analysis and so on, we have to pay for another round of fees, tuition fees kan. There are a lot of money to be, pay for example 4,000, more than 4,000 ringgit. If certain experiment or certain thing delay, so because of the certain what we call
as supervisor ask you to prepare what we call the write up or manuscript to be published, then you need to PIV first, stop your research, and then that one can affect your what we call candidacy, kan? And then it will reduce, will longer the study period. So then that one will affect your candidacy, and also you have to search for another 4,000 ringgit for to pay the tuition fee. But sometimes the don't bother about that situation. That's why you have to be close to one of them, then try to tell them, make them understand why certain situation or certain decision need to be done. Then I think that is another strategy lah. I think you know better your supervisor. Then maybe after you know them, then try to tackle very smartly how to to understand them, and then to persuade them to try to understand you. And also sometimes if certain analysis need to be modified a little bit, because of the sometimes when you do certain technique sometimes doesn't work and so on, so you need to refer to other person as well. If your supervisory team doesn't have the what we call expertise, maybe you need to rely on the other lecturer or expertise to help you. Then again, the relationship between you and your supervisor is very important. Try to through as close as possible. But if that one is not that what we call difficult to be materialized, maybe please you can rely on the other member of your supervisor. That's my tip lah. That which is because I also face the same problem before that. When I do what you call the write up, you know that in University Kebangsaan Malaysia I have to write a thesis in Malay, because then in order to fulfill the PhD I have to also publish. When I publish, I need to publish in English, so I have to do the two version of manuscript. So I have to prepare in Malay, in English first. When I prepare English, then I have to do a translation. So I very fortunate, because even though they are different in term of what we call style and so on, but they are help me a lot on the English, because one of the professor very good in English, another one good in Malay. So when I prepare both, so I can get this kind of good combination. But now I thanks to my supervisor, because of this kind of experience. Now I managed to write both. Doesn't matter. So both I can write very, fluently in bahasa, and also in English version. So those experience now in experience in this stage, maybe you can also now engage with your friend, your colleagues, which is good in English or in Malay. So make them, just change your manuscript. Ask them to, to proofread for you. Then sometime before you hand over to your supervisor to read your manuscript. Yeah, that is my my opinion. Whether is functional or not, it depends on the certain situation. Yeah.
All right. But I believe our friends here, our postgrad friends here, does not having difficulties with your supervisor in here in PPSK, don't you think, guys? All our supervisor very good one.
Are you sure?
So,
Hopefully, yeah.
hopefully, inshallah. So, last but not least, Prof, before we go to Q&A session, any advice to our postgrad student friends to become a competent enough to be accepted industry to simply say, if you are an interviewer from
Hmm.
the advice.
Come again? Can you, because come again? Please repeat the question.
Okay. What is your advice, Prof, to our postgrad students, to our friends, to become competitive enough to be accepted in industry? So easier for them after finish their study, then they apply for job, attending the interview. They got some certain of criteria to be accepted by the industry, or maybe if you are an interviewer, then for a lecturer post, what kind of character or what kind of a point that you're looking for on the candidature on the postgrad student?
Okay.
We wish that we will
Yeah.
quickly get the job after finish our study.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Good. Yeah. A good question, because this question is very relevant to all postgraduate students, because yeah, sure. During my study also, after I going to finish, then I will tell myself, what is the uh, career path that I want to embark on. So again, I also will face this interview, and then as an interviewer, normally if you want to become a lecturer, of course, most important thing is, as a lecturer in many universities now, they would like to have your publication. So publication is not a Scopus or ISI. Sometimes if they have the opportunity, for example, if they have a candidate, 5 candidates, for example, so they have to choose the best one. How to ensure that you get a good, what we call, mark as compared to the other candidate? So the publication, number one, is a quality one, maybe Q1, Q2. That is the number one criteria. Number two is in terms of your research study that you already conducted. Need to be parallel with the need of the company that you want to, you want to apply the post. For example, if you want to apply for lecturer in certain university, so must ensure that your area is relevant with that university. For example, in PPSK now, the candidature, I mean, the post is already complete. I mean, we have enough already. So, so if you want to apply, then quite difficult. Then you have to send your resume, try to search for other university. Doesn't matter whether that one is under RU or non-RU, but still they are more focused on your publication. If you want to become a lecturer, publication is number one. If you go to Sunway, UCSI, or maybe perhaps Tele College, PTPL and so on. So they are also will look at your publication. So number one, publication, and number two, in university normally they don't look on the other aspect. Normally they are focused more on your ability to conduct research, to prepare a manuscript, to prepare a research grant and so on. And then you also ensure that in the department that you want to apply must relevant with your area that you already did in your PhD or in your master. So that is if you want to become a lecturer lah. But if you want to become a scientific, what we call scientist at certain research institutes, again, uh, quite similar to the lecturer, but sometimes they also look at your area of expertise and also publication, quite similar to lecturer. But in the research institute, sometimes they want to see also your capability to manage the what we call the grant, and also your experience also. Your experience in your study, in your lab, what is your competency? What kind of equipment that you already, expert in? You know what kind of machineries or technique. And then that technique or machine also available and also similar with that research institute that you apply for. That is based on my experience. I also, during that time, I apply one position in Mardi, in Mardi Serdang for food scientists, we call food technologists. But unfortunately, the area that empty during that, vacant during that time is not related to cocoa. Because after I finished my master, I published a paper, a good paper during that time also. Now that paper published in 1998, which is I think Q2 at this time. But unfortunately, the area is not the main one. The area is not the what we call the niche area of the Mardi during that time. They are not focused on cocoa. So that's why I don't get the job there. Even though my master, I got four flat, 4.0 CGPA during that time. Very, they say that you are overqualified. The interviewer said to me, you are overqualified. You got four flat. But unfortunately, we don't want you. That is the message. Even though we are excel in certain, certain aspect, and then we publish in a good journal. But sometimes, if your area of expertise is not meet with their niche area, then you don't get that job. That's why you have to be very strategic. Try to search the research center that is similar with your field. That is need more what we call need more time, and also need more what we call searching. Try to search, and then you have to do a small research to a small survey not research survey. Try to search which institute which is similar or relevant to you. That is one thing. Number three, if you intend to join a company, there is another platform. Sometimes you want to become a scientific company. So also you need to also search the company, which is whether the company is suitable or not for you. Then you can submit your resume. Number three. Number four is, while waiting to the job, don't wait for the job. Just do any kind of job, which is you think that you can, you can fill up your time. For example, to become a volunteer, perhaps, become a volunteer. That's another kind of what I call temporary job. Any kind of voluntarily voluntarily kind of activity that you think can fill up your time. Don't what we call, don't waste your time while waiting to the interview and so on. So just send your resume out, because now difficult to get a job in Malaysia at the moment because of the pandemic, and the company also affected. And then for your information, we have received various type of application from the student to become a lecturer in USM. So my advice to you is don't just focus on research institute or university in Kelantan only. Go try to search on the other public university outside there, and also maybe private university as well. So maybe research institute and also company. That are the common kind of what we call platform that you can try to search for your career. So please be positive and then try hard to to apply, and then make sure that most important thing is during interview is confident level lah, the confident. Then please during the interview, please be frank to them, tell them very frankly about your research work. Try to convince them that your research work is very important for that institution. Of course, you have to do a due diligence first. You have to also do a survey with that company. What is their niche area, their mission, their vision? That one also important, so that you are ready to be interviewed in certain institution or organization.
So thank you for the wonderful and very meaningful advices, Prof. That will be our last question for today. So let's just move to Q&A session. Is there anyone would like to talk, saying hi to Prof, to our Dean, before I read question from the chat room? Introduce yourself, and master degree student, which master or postgraduate PhD student are you? Is there anyone here? All right. There is a question from chat box, Prof.
Yeah.
From Darren, saying that thoughts on the overly increasing number of postgraduate students these days and the quality being produced. Is it something good or something worrying? Because it seems like the demand, outside demand, is not tally with the production of what we have, after finishing master and PhD.
Sorry, Ras. Come again.
All right. The overly increasing number of postgrad students these days and the quality being produced? Question mark. Is it good or worrying?
Yeah, actually, on the positive side, normally when we research institute or research university like USM and other university, we want to produce more what we call the master and PhD. To target, the target is 60,000, 60,000 graduate become a PhD. That is the nation aspiration. But unfortunately, what happened was the post perjawatan, the post at government sector is not, is being freezed. That is the problem. Then we cannot rely on the government sectors. So you have to think about the other sectors as well. So then when you have the knowledge, expertise and so on, so that's another platform that maybe you can combine with other experts in your colleagues. For example, there's a company, one med Sdn Bhd medical base, but they combine the combination of from the graduate master and PhD from various field in herbal, in biomedic, in biotech, in food tech, and also in engineering. So they combine together, and in marketing. So they want to commercialize the product from university. So they do a consortium kind of consortium with different discipline, and then they register a company which is Sdn Bhd company to do commercialization of the product invented in university. That's another platform which is you can also do the same thing if you wish to to embark on, because now we cannot rely on the post which is commonly with the common kind of post. For example, in the university, in the research institute, but sometimes you need to think more advanced. For example, maybe you have to include the what we call the element of my STIE, machine learning, for example, prediction model, and so on. So those are the, when you want to be, to build up a company and so on, you have to engage with multiple discipline. But again, we have to have many thinkers and also many what we call graduates to think further about the to ensure that the Malaysia now want to have many experts in various fields. So that's why the model of the work that maybe in future, if you want to excel in business, we have to rely on the technology. We have to rely on if you want to do business, the businessmen and also the companies, normally now they have to rely on the expert from university. For example, they have to hire the student to become their quality control, for example, manager. And also sometimes the company, if they want to sustain, they have to do research. So that's why you have to try to find a very good company that looking for this kind of vacant, because I have a few company at this time, because they know that, for your information, Malaysia now, the grant, or what we call this, under MOSTI, we have technology grant. They call TED 1, TED 2, TED 3, and so on. So the technology grant open to Malaysian company. So Malaysian company need to apply grant with the expert. I mean, with the graduate, with university, and so on. So they have to engage expertise from university. So this is our what we call advantage here, to engage with the company, because otherwise the company cannot apply a grant, because Malaysia need to put the technology, the high tech, and also for example, under Malaysian Science and Technology drivers, they have identified 10 elements. So we have to engage which one is suitable for us to apply a grant under MOSTI. So the company need to apply grant, so they have to engage with you guys, with the experts. So they have to hire you. They have to hire a researcher to do research for them. If not, they are not entitled to apply certain grant. Malaysia towards that kind of move now. So at my stage now, we still rely on the company, because some of the grant I cannot apply. As a researcher, I cannot apply a grant. For example, I just can apply grant from Ministry of Higher Education. Very limited and very what we call competitive. But if company, they can apply research grant from MOSTI, under MOSTI, Ministry of Science and Technology. They can apply directly under Ministry of Health, or even under Ministry of Finance. So I advise you guys, try to search on the company which is established company, which acknowledge the R&D. But I don't know how, but I think in your area, you know better than me. For example, in my food industry, I know that Ajinomoto have R&D section, R&D section, like Nestle, Dutch Lady, and then even Dunia Daging recently, and then other institute also, under government agency also, they have collaborator from university. So please, you need to do some kind of survey, try to find what kind of company that established company that have this R&D section. So if they have R&D section, then that is your what we call your chance to try your luck to send for your resume and so on. So that is the tip lah. If you think that if you want to become one of the family member in those company. Yeah,
So,
next.
so it means looking for knowledge is never been something that worrying. It's actually something
Yeah,
good. Mm.
yeah.
So next question is, Prof. From Wanuru Shafawani, any tips or hacks for us to be a good postgraduate student while doing research, but at the same time enjoy the life? Kill two
Yeah,
birds with one stone.
yeah. So that's why you have to fill up your your weekend with your colleagues. Do activity. You have to create on your own. But sometimes, we always blame the situation. We always blame others. We always blame COVID. We always blame many people and so on. So uh, this is the time for you to to enjoy life, student what we call campus life. You know, then when you go when you do work later on, you will miss this kind of experience. So that's why we say learning experience is very important. So learning experience means while you do your routine work in your lab, normally if you follow the rule and then you follow your supervisor and then you follow the framework that you already your proposal already being approved by the committee, and then just do your work, and then I'm sure that you will be finished very colorful. Yeah, you will be finished very smooth. But parallel to that, you have to also fill up your time, your weekend, and so on. Please, you have to be very creative. Try to, sometimes you engage with certain group doing because sukarela or volunteer for vaccine and so on. But during that time, you can meet many people, various type of people, and also sometimes when you do the session with them while waiting to be check your document and so on for injection while waiting, then you can communicate with them, ask them why not, maybe sometime they can more chances to become to get more information. Sometimes they give you more information. That is my advice. Sometimes this one is cannot be, sometimes it's quite what we call dynamic. It's a luck actually. So if you have time, if you have more time, please do what you want. You think that you are your interest. For example, like myself, I play I jog. Sometimes I play takraw. I play football. So at afternoon or evening time, I just play with my friend. Then tomorrow I go to work and then do my research. But during that time, I engage with people. Sometimes we have friendly what we call mesh with certain group, with bank, with certain company and so on. Then you get more what we call interaction, and then there's vacancy in Mardi, for example. They will tell you. So this is indirect kind of information that you can get. Same thing that if now in the situation of pandemic, you can engage with certain group of people who doing the as a sukarela or volunteer for vaccination, or sukarela for the study, or volunteer and so on. So you can get more information. Then maybe in one time, maybe you can get the the chance for you to apply for certain posts at certain company or organization. So please do what you what kind of what we call just do what you want to do instead of just of course the main one is yes, you have to finish your study lah. I mean, you have to uh, follow your what we call the protocol, and then you have to meet fulfill your Gantt chart. You have planned already the Gantt chart, and then during this time then if you have more time, then if you have the opportunity to engage with certain activity, please engage. And then if you think, oh, tak ada activity lah, we don't have activity, they don't create activity, then you create on your own. Why not? You create. You have to create. So that's why I say you can do anything. Just simple gathering like bowling, netball or futsal or whatever, ping pong, badminton. Those are simple things. Very, very what we call very simple kind of what we call gathering. Don't be a serious one. Just do a commonality we call common. The common one. The word is common. What is the common between you and your colleagues? What is common? The common one. And then with the common one, the common interest, then you create the activity. Any activity. Go to Pantai Senak, for example. Then you play with kite. That is another activity. And then potluck at Bacuk, Malawi and so on. So those are the very simple kind of activity. And then you invite your colleague, invite your lecturers. You can do many things and then maybe you say, oh, let's go to Pantai Penarik. We enjoy sotong celup tepung. So that's another activity. Please do. Then those are you have your, you can create on your own. Don't limit yourself with just doing research just to finish it. No, I think we can do more than that. That is my advice lah. Yeah, thanks.
All right. So next question, Prof. Another question from Muhammad Zuhaili bin Suhaimi. Salam, Prof. Just want to get your opinion and suggestion. What are the best strategies to continuously conduct the research when we are working at the workplace with no facilities that are needed for our research?
Okay.
Constrained facilities, equipment, yeah. So the best strategy?
Terima kasih Mak Zuhaili. Waalaikumsalam. Opinion and suggestion. What are the best strategies to continuously conduct the research when we are working at the workplace with no facility? Yeah. This one is, there are many strategy lah that you can you can create. Number one is the option. I give you one of the option is you have to identify where is the alternative one. For example, the when the working no facility. Okay, when we talk about facilities, yeah, during my time also I also need to go to Pasir Gudang, Johor. I study in UKM Bangi, and then I have to go there for the. Remember just now I told you that I have to ask my officer to wait for me, and just they say, he says tomorrow, you come tomorrow. Then my sample already, and then I come tomorrow, and then suddenly he MC. And then so I have this kind of situation. Then I think, oh, this one cannot finish lah my PhD. Difficult because I have to inject. I prepare today and I have to inject today. Then with this kind of culture, I cannot finish my work because we have to rely on the only mission that we have. Then I ask my supervisor what is the alternative. Then my supervisor says that you have to find on your own, and then try to go to other university. And then I start to search UPM and other university. There, yes, they have the facility, but the specific kind of column or system that I need is not suitable with my study, because I have to use HPLC coupled with detector of fluorescent detector. So I don't have the facility in my department, so I have to search, and then I go to various university, UPM, us in UPM and UITM. They also don't have this. They have the HPLC, but they don't have the fluorescent detector. And then I'll go to Porim. So Porim also in Bangi also they have sophisticated HPLC, but they don't have fluorescent, but they have UV technique. But I need to analyze beta, alpha, beta, tocopherol, and carotene. Then suddenly there's one company. This is not university company called Carotino Sendirian Berhad in Johor Bahru. Then I emailed them, I asked them, they said, no, you cannot come. They say, just say no. Then I asked my supervisor, Prof, can you do me a favor? Try to ask them, persuade them. Then my supervisor wrote to them, then they say, yes, you can come at this period of time. Come at 12 and then you 12 at noon, and then finish at 11 at night. Tomorrow 12, 11. Tomorrow 12, 11. So for 3 consecutive days I go there. And then my first time I go there, and then I went there, there is no peak at all. So I came back for second time to search what is the problem. So I have to do literature review, try to find, oh, this sample is cannot be extract in the kena ada, make sure that protected from light, and temperature is very what we call sensitive and so on. So we settle that one, and then go for the second time. So I have to wait. So my supervisor email for the second time then. So you come at this, then we just go there and then do a what we call the injection. During that time, I just have my old kancil, green kancil. And then they say, okay, you can come, but please bring together with you the solvent. Then I have to bring my own solvent with my sample. Methanol and chloroform. You just imagine if, accident happened. So I bring a few bottles of chloroform, methanol, and hexane for my extraction, and also for extraction, and also for extraction, and for the mobile phase for the HPLC. So I went there for 3 times. Then I got the just to fulfill for only one parameter, which is alpha, beta, and gamma tocotrienol in the palm oil, which I prepare. I added in the beef patty, and then I study the stability of beef patty, and then I get Alhamdulillah, I get the good result lah from that kind of. So you have to do what we call this search, and then please ask around, and there is always the alternative for you. So make sure that don't rely on USM as well. Maybe you have to go to USM main campus, but sometimes you have to go to other place. Like myself, when I came back in 2004 in PPSK, I don't have even a small lab. There is no lab for me to do research. You don't have lab. So after 3 years, then barulah ada kitchen at the basement. So during that time, I don't have lab, and I don't have equipment to do research. So I have to go to where? I have to go to UM to do the scanning electron microscope in UM, and then UPM for scanning electron microscope. UPM, UKM, and also UITM to do research. So we have to do what we call, we have to search on the other facility, on the other university as well. I think I can answer you, Muhammad Zaili.
Hopefully, Prof have answered your query here. So another one question is actually come from our postdoc Nabila. PG are encouraged to attend and
Yeah.
present at conference, right? Is there any incentive from PPSK if we got accepted as a presenter?
Yeah. Yeah. Nabila is postdoc, Dr. Nabila, kan? Is post.
Correct.
I think because
Yeah.
postdoc is postdoctorate, kan? Nabila? Yeah, alright.
Yes.
So Nabila, to
Maybe
answer
it's a
this,
postdoc.
Dr. Nabila under whom? Under siapa? Who is your supervisor now? Dr. Wan Nodiana.
Medical
Okay.
radiation.
Okay. I don't know. I think this you have to ask bahagian uh, uh, Puan Nordini. Please ask Puan Nordini about the yeah, I encourage you, but maybe can be applied under central budget, but under PPSK we don't have this kind of facilitation. Yeah, unfortunately, because our operational budget is very limited. So we cannot but I think you can form with Nodin. Then you can apply through, if I'm not mistaken, central under, if I'm not mistaken, under RCMO. Just ask Puan Nodini or RCMO about this. But for PPSK we don't have this kind of facilitation. But if Dr. Wan has grant, then maybe you can ask for her grant to cover your conference. Yeah, thanks.
I think that's the last question for today, Prof. From Nabila.
Yeah, thanks.
So again, thank you for your time, advice, sharing, and everything, Prof, for this afternoon. For the rest
Yeah,
of postgraduate friends, do keep the message from the Prof and then apply in your daily postgrad routine, your daily life, and see the impact. Maybe one day you will be like Prof today, a dean of school of, someone like Prof.
yeah,
So I
possible.
think Prof, we will end our session today.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much again. So maybe last word, Prof, before we end the session, before we dismiss,
Yeah.
last word.
Okay. Last my message is just be positive. Just be positive and then please maintain a good rapport with your supervisor, good rapport with your staff, your scientific officer, your colleagues. Please respect each other, and also we have to follow SOP. Yeah, please also, with the pandemic, unprecedented pandemic, we don't know about the another variant and so on coming on, Omicron, oh my god, and so on. I don't know yet, so please follow the SOP. Then yeah, then again, make sure that you follow, and then if you have what we call problem and so on, please always convey the message to your supervisor, or maybe your representative from your postgraduate club, and also even direct to Encik Lukmi, our scientific officer, or even myself. Just forward, just WhatsApp me anytime. So we in a big family in here, so we have to harmoniously working together. We know our role. We have to facilitate you. So you here uh, is because the KPI of our school is rely on you. If you don't go to lab, so we don't have data. If we don't have data, we cannot publish. When we cannot publish, we cannot get what we call this incentive. Then we cannot get fulfill the KPI, and then you also cannot graduate with flying colors. So please be positive, and also please experience the campus life, and then do another extra activity, curriculum activity instead of doing routine lab work, please conduct seminars, conduct collegiality, and also commonality activities. That please invite me as well. All right. Thank you. All the best for you, you guys. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Maybe we would like to have a session, photo session, Prof, with all
Why
of
not? Yeah,
our
sure.
friends.
Sure.
So if anyone here able to on your video, we would really appreciate, because we are going to have a snap. We are going to have photos with our dean. Anyone else? Okay. Thank you. More? It's going to be freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much again, Prof.
Okay, bye.
So now,
Okay, bye.
yeah,
Assalamualaikum.
yes. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. So we can dismiss. Everyone can dismiss.